Oh, hey everybody. Just finishing up my coffee. It's afternoon here in New Jersey, Sunday. It is April, what is it? April 19th or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's April 19th. And it's dreary here. It's raining. It got colder. Last couple of days were like summertime. Yesterday was beautiful, 73 degrees where I was at. Uh, but I'm coming on here to tell you about yesterday and some albums I got. And I got a sign. Uh, I have a lot of stuff, as you can see, just this room. Uh, and I don't need more stuff. Do I need more stuff? No. Do I need more albums? Probably not. Probably going to start selling some. But yesterday I met my friend Matt, who you know if you listen to the podcast. He's been a good friend of mine since we were 10. Never lost contact. And I met my friend Mark there. Mark doesn't do the podcast. Hadn't seen Mark in a couple years. Um, so got to hang out with those guys. We went to lunch afterwards, but the flea market was great. A lot of people, clear out their houses or their relatives' houses. A lot of junk, and people were selling albums outside and had them laying out in the heat, which is not good. But there was a place, a barn, where they have where everybody sells albums. So it was kind of cool in there, no sunlight. And so this was in Bartow, Pennsylvania. Bartow, never been there before. It's about 30 minutes past like Bethlehem, from Bethlehem, probably south. I'm bad with direction. Matt drove. Um, and it's Jake's Flea Market. So I went in there and it was record store day yesterday too, so I'm going to talk about that. But um, they didn't have any record store day stuff because they are just local, like me. Like if I got a table, paid for a table to sell some of my albums, sort of like that. There were some overpriced stuff, as always. I also like to comment on the dollar albums. Dollar albums to me are albums that people really don't want. Uh, Now, there's the ones that people don't want that are in great condition, and they're a dollar, you know. Then there's the albums that people think that they're in such bad shape, I can only get a dollar for them. Well, you're not going to get anything for them because they've got grooves in them so deep. You can, create a Scrabble, the Scrabble board where you put your letters. You can like fit them in there. So um, just recycle them. Or take them out if the album's bad. Sell the covers if they're great. People sometimes decorate their house with album covers. Anyway, so I found some deals. I didn't buy a lot. I only bought 4 albums. So the first one, where are you? Now I collect certain artists I collect from my youth. One is Olivia Newton-John. Love Olivia Newton-John. Probably have half her studio albums, but I don't have the first album, and they remastered it. Let me see if I can find a year on here. 2022. So this album is 4 years old. This is sealed, and I do look things up while I'm there. I also make sure I don't own the album. I do have my album list on my phone. But this was her first album, and I got it for $12. This goes for $25 at least, if not for you. So it has that great song, If Not For You on it. Me and Bobby McGee, Banks of the Ohio. This is a great album. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm going to play it because that's why we buy albums. Okay. Then another seller, that was literally behind where I bought this album, like in that same area. He telling us that he went to an auction and he got all these Elvis albums. Now, I own every studio album from Elvis, and I started collecting the soundtracks. I also have some of the live stuff and some of the compilation ones. I'm not really interested in a lot of those because they have the same songs that I already have. So I was interested in the movie soundtracks. I think Elvis was in like 31 movies or something. I should know this. Um, Now, this guy told us he got like 100, at least 100 albums for like 20 bucks. He shouldn't have told us that, but he also said all my albums right now, because I guess he only had like another hour to go. We were getting into the afternoon. You know, flea markets, people get there like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we heard in the morning. We got there like 10:30. And anyway, so half price. And I looked through the Elvis stuff. And I found, and these look brand new, because I've seen Elvis albums that look like they were chewed on by a rat and mold. You know, they smell. You put them in the room like this. You know, I keep the door closed in here because we have cats. I don't want the cat in here. I've got tomato plants in the windowsill. You know, I'm growing from seed. Anyway, so girls, girls, girls. I mean, look at this. It looks brand new. The albums look great. This was marked at 20 and I got it for 10. And yeah, if you go on eBay, you probably get this for 10, but not in that. And I'm not so concerned. I really am not concerned about the condition of the cover sometimes, as much as the vinyl, because that's what you're going to listen to. Got this one. This was 15, so I got this for $7.50. Because like I said, a lot of stuff is just overpriced stuff. And, you know, people try and sell these for like 40 bucks or something. This was 10 bucks, so I got it for 5. Roused about. Anyway, are the songs great? I just love Elvis. And I have about 6, 7 soundtrack albums now. Got a lot more to go. Now, while I was there, I saw a metal sign that caught my attention, and it's an ad for Coke. And you know, when I asked the woman how much it was, and she said 15. I was going to barter, but it looked brand new, so I knew it was a reproduction, and it is. And it's a reproduction of a Coke ad from 1946. Now, the original Coke ad was horizontal. They cropped this one, put the Coke logo on there. I thought it was Marilyn Monroe. I thought it was Norma Jean. That's, you know, her original name, Norma Jean Baker. Doesn't this look like a young Marilyn Monroe? But look at this. Putting this is going in the garage. Wife doesn't know yet. She'll know soon. But I did some research. I'm like, who is this girl? Then I figured out it was a guy who painted her, and it was Hayden Sunbloom, Blom. He also created the Santa Coke ads. He also illustrated those, painted those. I went down the rabbit hole. I actually found, now you can find out, you know, a lot on the internet. I sound like an old guy, right? But some of it true, some of it not, but I didn't do AI, I did different sources and just made sure this was right. And it was confirmed by this guy's mother, this girl's son. She is no longer alive. And the son is the son of Dick York. And guess what? The girl in the ad is Joan Alt, who ended up marrying Dick York. So that's who that is. She was 15 in the ad. So next we go to record store day. Now, my local record store is about 40 minutes away, maybe less. It's in Pennsylvania, Easton, but it's when I went to Matt's house in Bethlehem, and then he drove farther, and when we came back, this was on the way back to my house. So it's in a mall. There's still a mall that exists in Easton, and this is called Spin Me Round. They posted Friday night, people sitting out, to sleep over. One woman was getting the Taylor Swift album. Like, the store probably has like 500 of these. You're gonna get it, you know. So I did that once, maybe a couple times. Last time was, I think it was a couple years ago. Might have been, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. What was cool was I ran into someone that I hadn't seen in a long time, an old friend that I used to be in a band with. So that was kind of cool. And we got to talk and hang a little bit. And that's the cool thing. You get to talk to people that are there for music. And I usually have my cards with me, you know. Do you listen to podcasts? You know, stuff like that. So I got there at 4 in the afternoon. Now, what I wanted was Marshall Crenshaw. It's his bootleg album. Bootleg, here I have it right here. We're going to talk about it. The Bootleg Sounds of Marshall Crenshaw. Here it is. And, you know, albums have gotten so astronomical in price. This is $28.98. Now, believe it or not, Sam and I, if you're watching this video right after I put it out, Sam and I are doing a podcast, just spur of the moment, talking about Record Store Day, and I'll go into more detail on this album. I'll go into a little bit of detail here, but we're going to do an audio podcast, like our regular podcast, no edits, just putting it out, talking about what we got. Sam did not sleep out either. So now this album is a combination of two albums from the 80s. And one is this is from 85, Downtown. One of my favorite Marshall Crenshaw. I love Marshall Crenshaw, but this is a great album. Downtown. And then the other album that it's from is this one, Mary Jean and Nine Others. Okay. Mostly songs from Downtown are on this, and these are outtakes, some live stuff. Now these were restored from a Ampex 456 tape from the 80s, and you know, tapes. Marshall goes in. I love this on the back. Marshall goes into exactly everything about them finding the tapes or trying to restore them, because they do kind of disintegrate. What happens is it says the binder used to adhere the magnetic material to the backing can become unstable, forming a sticky residue. It's known as sticky shed syndrome. You learn something every day. So they have to bake. He said they had to bake the tapes. I had to look this up, and they do heat the tape 130, 145 degrees for up to 48 hours, to remove any moisture trapped between the layers of tape material. So we're able to restore these, of course, and put them onto vinyl. What I like with some of the Record Store Day releases is that this is not on CD. You can't stream this. And I do stream albums, but I like when you own something that someone else can't. You want people to hear it, but I like that it's kind of exclusive. I like the exclusive stuff. Now this has about let's see. I think we got 15 songs. Like I said, most of them are from downtown. Uh, the only There's a couple things on here that he added in: vocal test. They're like testing out the microphones. We don't really need that. And one we really don't need is side 2, Synsonics Go Berserko. Static drums, just awful. I guess it's, and I think it hinders the album because I think the choice of songs are great. There's a lot of the, Buddy Holly sounding. There's some Gene Vincent on here, like cover songs. And Buddy Holly, we got That'll Be the Day on here. You know, and he's got a couple people from the E Street Band. We got Gary Talent on bass and Max Weinberg on drums on that one. That's not a live one. The one that surprised me is there's a song on here that I've never heard before. And it's not on either album, and apparently it was recorded during the time of one of these downtown, because we got Mary Jean came out in 87, downtown 86. This says 84 to 87. So within that time period, he recorded a song with Kirsty MacColl, who I love. If you don't know who Kirsty MacColl is, she was part of the Pogues. She wasn't on every song, but if you heard a female voice, with the Irish dialect, love it. Fairy Tale of New York. If you don't know that song, it's become it's sort of a Christmas song. And it's a legendary song now. That's like my favorite holiday song. And she goes back and forth with Shane MacGowan, the lead singer of the Pogues. But Kirsty MacColl, I put this on, I'm like, do I have this on the wrong speed? Because the first two this is the third track. You hear Marshall. The second song's great too. We're Gonna Shake Up Their Minds, which is track 7 on Downtown. And, it's kind of a 50s or 60s rockabilly kind of thing. All I Ever Wanted, Kirsty MacColl. And she's singing. She begins, I think she might be doing all the vocals. She wrote the lyrics to the song. Marshall wrote the music. It was produced by Steve Lillywhite. He has, a lot to do with U2. So one of my favorite Marshall Crenshaw songs of all time is Little Wild One. That one's hard to find. It's actually on Downtown. But this is the instrumental. So it's kind of disappointing. I would like to hear, like a live version maybe. We get Right Now, a Gene Vincent song. That was track 9 on Downtown. I'm just going to go through this real quick. Interesting enough, there's a song on here called Terrifying Karaoke. What is this? You won't find this song, but you'll find a song called Terrifying Love from Downtown. It's the same song, but it's an instrumental. He just decided to call it Terrifying Karaoke on this one. And there's no vocals, so that's kind of funny, ironic. Try, which has been on a lot of, this is live. He's got Graham Mabey, which is Joe Jackson's bass player, and Robert Crenshaw, Marshall's brother. And so the last 2 tracks on this album are live. They're live from the Ritz, April 1st, 1987. So we got, so Graham Mabey and Robert join him on both tracks. And speaking of the Ritz, my other record store day. Now, normally I look at the list. There were over 350 albums this time. And I didn't look at the list this time. I just I'm gonna go in, see what they have. And they had a lot at 4 o'clock. But probably not the rarer ones. But every album is 30, 35, you know, I think Taylor Swift, I should have looked it up. Her Elizabeth Taylor song is, and it's just one song on both sides. It's just a single. I'm positive it was like $25-$30. You know, it should be like $10, but that's just my thinking. But I did pick up this Joan Jett. And the thing is, if you don't get the record store day and there's maybe an album you want, even if it's one or two, it's worth it to go there in the afternoon. Go there the next day, because this was $25.98. People are selling this on eBay already for $55-$60. Do you want to pay $60? No, just get over, if you got a record store near you, pick up one album if you want. You don't have to pick up 10 albums, you're $300 in, you know. So, but this is live from the Ritz, 81. It's got, you know, I haven't listened to this one yet. Bad Reputation, I'm Gonna Run Away, Wooly Bully, I Love Rock and Roll, You Wanna Touch Me, you know, Crimson and Clover. So this should be pretty good. And it comes with a pre-production ticket, which I'm kind of disappointed, because this looks like something, I mean, I own a printing company, and I'm not putting down my own printing company, but this looks like something I could print. Yeah, it's on like paper that nothing special about it. It's not, be nice if it was had a little embossing or something, but no, this looks like it was printed off a color copier. So kind of a neat extra item. And then I got a used album. Now I collect Linda Ronstadt. I've been collecting from her studio albums, you know, from the beginning, and I think I probably have 10 more to get. But I don't have the first one. And I saw this. This was like just sitting there, like, hey Rob, you know, here I am. Here I am, and it's Linda Ronstadt, Stone Ponies and Friends, Volume 3. This was, believe it or not, Linda Ronstadt's first, at least on Wikipedia, listed as her first solo album, because it had her name, Linda Ronstadt, on it. And $24.99. Yeah. So now I'm complete from the first to whatever, maybe the first 15 albums, I don't know. So that pretty much does it for my record store day. And I'm going to listen to Joan Jett. Like I said, look for Sam and I. We are going to do an audio, probably be like 30 minutes. Talk about, you know, what I just talked about, but we'll find out what Sam got too. And yeah, so everybody have a good day. Check out the interviews I put out this month. I got Keith Hopwood, original guitars from Herman's Hermits. Going to be at Chiller Theater autograph show. That's the end of this month. And that's in Parsippany, New Jersey. That was a good interview. It's about 30 minutes. We talk about his book. We talk about the new single. Yeah, Herman's Hermits have a new single with Peter Noon and Keith Hopwood. They went to California and they recorded a song. And I think, forgive me, but I think it's called Remember When. And first time they recorded together in 50 years. So Keith was on all the, you know, we talked about Mrs. Brown's lovely daughter and the guitar part in that song, or the sound of the guitar, and other stuff. So we talked about the Beatles and Ed Sullivan and stuff like that. Then I just put out Tom LaFond, and he is from a Colorado band, rock, folk, interesting band. Just put out their second album on Friday called Bad Luck. So check that out. And they're called Banshee Tree. Check out Banshee Tree. And so have a great rest of the day today. If you're watching after this, have a great week. And so again, this is Rob, No Good Music. You can email us at nogoodmusicpodcast@gmail.com. And we've got, whoops, that's the wrong hat. That's my Cheap Trick hat. I got No Good Music hats like this, embroidered. I don't have any in stock right now, but if you want one or you want to see what it looks like, email me, send me a picture, tell you all about it. And I have shirts, No Good Music shirts. This is Dave Hill, comedian. Check out Dave Hill. We've interviewed him a couple years ago. He's touring with Pussifier. And he also toured with Tenacious D when they were together. Also have, what do I have? I have coasters too. If you want coasters, just email me. If you're in a band, email me. We're not doing much of the music news, new artists and stuff like that, where we play your song. But maybe we'll interview you, or maybe we'll mention you, on a podcast. We're doing more of the theme podcast this year, probably throughout, and interviews, of course. Yeah, so everyone have a great rest of the week or beginning of the week, whatever. So, signing out from New Jersey, rainy, cold. Hopefully it gets warm again. It will. And see you later.